What if I told you that the god everyone thinks is evil might actually be one of the most misunderstood figures in all of mythology? Meet Hades, the king of the underworld, whose name in modern Greek is written as Hades, pronounced Hades, meaning the unseen one. In ancient Greece, death was not an ending but a transition. The Greeks built elaborate myths to explain what happened after someone took their final breath. At the center of these stories stood Hades, ruling over a realm more complex and fascinating than any simple vision of hell or heaven. His kingdom was not a place of punishment alone, but a carefully ordered world where every soul found its proper place. Hades is one of the big three brothers who shaped the cosmos. After defeating their tyrannical father, the Titan Cronus, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots to divide creation. Zeus claimed the sky and became king of the gods. Poseidon took the seas and commanded the waves. Hades drew what many considered the short straw, the underworld, the dark realm beneath the earth where all mortals eventually journey. But here's what most people miss. Hades wasn't just the god of death. He was also the god of wealth. Everything beneath the earth belonged to him. Precious metals, gleaming gems, and mineral riches. This earned him the title Pluton, meaning the wealthy one. The Romans later called him Pluto, and that's where we get the word plutocrat, meaning someone with power through wealth. Hades possessed a legendary artifact called the Helm of Darkness, also known as the Kunai. This magical helmet granted complete invisibility to whoever wore it. He even lent it to heroes like Perseus during their impossible quests. Imagine having a god on your side who could make you vanish from sight entirely. Unlike most Greek gods, Hades was surprisingly faithful. His most famous relationship was with Persephone, daughter of the harvest goddess Demeter. The myth tells us he abducted her, a story that troubles modern readers. But the ancient Greeks viewed their marriage as stable and powerful. She ruled beside him as queen of the underworld, a formidable goddess in her own right. His most loyal companion was Cerberus, the famous three-headed dog. But we'll meet him properly in a moment. To understand Hades, you must first understand his kingdom's geography. The underworld is bordered and divided by 5 primary rivers. Each represents a specific human emotion tied to death and transition. Think of these rivers as mystical borders that souls must navigate. The most famous is the Styx, the river of hatred. It forms the boundary between the living world and the realm of the dead. Even the gods fear the Styx. When an Olympian makes a sacred promise, they swear by this river. Breaking such an oath strips them of power and voice for 9 years. The hero Achilles was famously dipped into the Styx by his mother, making him invulnerable everywhere except his heel, the spot she held. The Acheron, the river of woe, is where souls begin their final journey. In ancient times, this was considered the main crossing point. Here you find Charon, the grim ferryman who transports souls across the water. To pay for passage, the dead needed a small coin called an obol, placed in their mouth at burial. Without payment, souls wandered the riverbanks as ghosts for 100 years before earning free passage. The Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, flows through the underworld's center. Souls drink from its waters to erase all memories of earthly life. This merciful forgetting allows them to exist without the agony of missing loved ones. In later myths, souls destined for reincarnation drank from Lethe so they wouldn't remember past lives. The Phlegethon, the river of fire, is the most terrifying. Instead of water, liquid fire and boiling blood flow through its channel. It leads deep into Tartarus, keeping murderers and tyrants in eternal burning without destroying them completely. The pain never ends, but neither does existence. Finally, the Cocytus, the river of lamentation, runs freezing cold. Its name comes from the Greek word for wailing. It's fed by tears of improperly buried souls trapped between worlds, forever crying out in sorrow. The sound alone was said to drive mortals mad. To enter Hades' realm, souls must pass 2 legendary guardians. First comes Charon, the skeletal ferryman we mentioned earlier. He's described as cranky, silent, and strictly rule-following. He rarely allows living people to cross, though heroes like Hercules and Orpheus force their way onto his boat through strength or cunning. Once across the river, you meet Cerberus, known in Greek as Kerberos. This massive 3-headed dog guards the underworld's gates. His 3 heads might represent past, present, and future, or birth, youth, and old age. His mane writhes with living snakes, and his tail resembles a dragon's. Here's the twist. Cerberus doesn't keep people out. He keeps souls in. He's actually friendly to incoming spirits, but becomes terrifying if anyone tries to leave. Heroes who needed to pass him while alive often used honey cakes drugged with herbs to make him sleep. This gave us the phrase a sop to Cerberus, meaning a bribe to someone dangerous. Some linguists suggest Kerberos means spotted in ancient languages. So Hades basically named his terrifying guardian monster dog Spot. After passing these guardians, souls reach the plane of judgment. Here stand three judges: Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Aeacus. They weren't originally gods, but mortal kings who lived such just lives that Zeus gave them this eternal duty. Minos, former king of Crete, serves as chief justice with final vote. Rhadamanthus, incredibly strict, judges souls from the east. Aeacus, known for piety, judges souls from the west and holds the Underworld's keys. The judges send souls down three possible paths. The Asphodel Meadows are for average people, neither heroes nor villains. It's a gray, misty field where souls wander in dreamlike states. The fields of Elysium are Greek heaven, reserved for heroes and the exceptionally virtuous. Eternal sunlight, music, and games fill this paradise. Tartarus is the deepest pit, reserved for the truly wicked. Here, punishment fits the crime with terrible creativity. Sisyphus, who cheated death twice, rolls a boulder uphill forever. Each time he nears the top, it rolls back down. Tantalus, who fed the gods his own son, stands in water under fruit trees. When he reaches for fruit, branches lift away. When he tries to drink, water drains. This gave us the word tantalize. Ixion, who betrayed Zeus, spins on a flaming wheel for eternity. In some versions, souls reaching Elysium 3 times through reincarnation earn passage to the Isles of the Blessed, an even higher paradise. Hades doesn't judge souls himself. He maintains order and balance between life and death. He's stern and unyielding, but not evil. He's the ultimate administrator of the natural cycle, ensuring everyone receives their proper fate. Without him, chaos would reign, and death would lose all meaning. This complex mythology reveals how ancient Greeks understood mortality. They created an afterlife reflecting their values: justice, order, and consequences for actions. Hades stands as proof that darkness doesn't equal evil. Sometimes the most important work happens in shadows, unseen, but absolutely necessary. The King of the Underworld reminds us that every ending is also part of a greater balance, and that understanding death helps us appreciate life itself.